Hey, kids, it's the spleen coming at you live from the stomach. And you know I'm chilling with Kevin. What's up, Kevin? It's Kevin in the spleen live. How you doing?
Oh, it's good to be back, Mr. Spleen. I really, really enjoy doing this with you.
You know, it's been 20 years and you're still calling me Mr. Spleen. I think we're a bit past that in terms of our, professional relationship when you say,
Well, I would just like to show respect to to those who created this before me.
wow. And if you're listening to the deep lore, you of course know that Kevin did fund this whole studio and he basically created it. But of course, Kevin in the Spleen, the show used to be a traveling road show with a different Kevin. The Kevin was my dog. Had to put him down after he got into some cheese curls. Oh yeah, baby. Haha. Okay. That's enough of an intro bit. I don't know. What do you think, Kevin? Was that good?
That was pretty good. I like that.
Well, it doesn't have to be good because you know what we have that is good? An incredible guest. That's right. You know him from acting. He's an actor on Community, Victorious. He's a writer, an ex-strike captain. I think if you're an ex-strike captain, you kind of stay a strike captain. It's like once for life. It's like riding a bicycle, I assume. Darsan Solomon is in the house. How you doing?
Hey, good to see you.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, once a strike captain, always a strike captain.
Yeah, you like know how to do it. Like even if you're not in given that title again, you can still be there, like, helping out and telling people.
Oh yeah, I still have my OSHA vest. Like, we're good.
So what is it? Obviously, well, not obviously. Did you get training to be a strike captain?
Yeah, it was so basically when the writer's strike began, I was just going out to support because I'm not in WGA yet, but still I care because you guys rock. So I was going there and I was appearing so much that one of the actually the lot coordinator over at the Fox Picket, she messaged me and said, "Hey, SAG's actually asking for recommendations and nominations. I want to throw your name in there. Are you okay with that?" I said, "Oh wow, yeah, go for it." So she threw my name in. Then we basically had a group Zoom where we were given the briefing on what we needed to do and what the responsibilities were. And that was our training. And then we just went out there and did it.
Are there any big responsibilities that were surprising or like, oh man, was anything scary about that? Or was it all like, yeah, okay.
I wasn't quite prepared just for like, they handed me a bullhorn. It's like, all right, if you can think of any cheers and you're going to be responsible for this whole group of people, I'm basically hurting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like making sure everybody crossed the street, and it ended up just being pretty straightforward as what to do. It's just like, oh, I have the vest on, which means I actually, is this being live recorded, like video wise, or?
It is being videoed, but we're not streaming live, if that's what you mean.
Okay, yeah, okay. I just mean I can actually show you the vest.
Yeah. And while he shows the vest, I tried to take a strike captain course. They charged me $400. I think it turned out to be fraud. But I'm not super sure,
All right, so here's what we got. Like I even got like the badge that says strike captain. Even got a couple pins on there when Fran was giving out the hearts because they're trying to make fun of her for having a heart plushie. And yeah, it's purple because purple's my color.
Yeah, that's a brilliant shade of purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Neat.
I like that it's, I don't know. I think it's kind of ditched its feminine coding or whatever, but I kind of like how it's not like
Black Panther, I think, definitely helped a lot with that.
Yeah, like
but this was they were only giving out those lime green, lemon lime, bright yellow, and I was thinking that clashes with my skin tone. Like I still got to look cute for the picket line. So yeah. I went out and got this, and I guess I started a trend because I noticed that other pickets after I got this, they started getting purple ones.
That's so cool. And man, the SAG strike was a lot more styling, I found, than the WGA strike. Like there was a lot more aesthetics going on,
Yeah, though with the WGA strikes, like that strike actually allowed for like TV specific stuff because SAG didn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but because there was a crossover, it allowed for it was like our loophole.
That's awesome. Man. So, okay. So you were on the Fox lot. Did you ever protest at other sites or anything?
I went to a couple others if there are certain themed ones, like Community actually had a reunion picket at Paramount. I actually showed up for that.
Wow.
It was really an interesting experience to go up to check-in and saying, "Hi, I'm part of the cast. Where do I stand?"
Yeah, for sure. Man, like I drove by the Paramount ones a couple times, but it seemed like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
they
was
called it Party Mount over there because it was wild sometimes. They had sometimes where too many people turned up. They said, "Hey, please go to other lots because this is too much for the sidewalk."
Yeah, there wasn't like a lot of active area to be on, you know. Yeah, when I was going, I was trying to go to some of the lesser hit areas. But in terms of the Fox lot, what was the vibe like compared to like
It was
other
pretty
ones?
laid back. I didn't realize this, but most people either live in the valley or closer to the valley because I guess rent prices. But this was just, it's the closest one to me. I'm kind of near the Grove area. So
Yeah.
you could just like roll down over there. And I guess a lot of showrunners went there too because of the vibe.
That's interesting.
Heard a story of someone who saw a showrunner and was like, "Oh, this is my chance to pitch myself and my idea." And people are going, "Oh no, please do not do that."
Yeah.
And only do so much before eventually having to give up and leave him to his fate.
Yeah, exactly. Like the kind of person who's going to do that is also the kind of person who is not going to take advice like that, you know.
Fair.
But you got to try, right? So do you have any interesting strike stories
Yeah.
offhand?
So one of the other ones I hit up, I went to Warner Brothers a few times. There actually was a Black Writers picket that was going on. I was like, "Oh, neat. That's one of my categories. I can go to that." So I went, and I mean, first of all, really nice turnout. Like Robin Thede was there. Aaron Michelle Williams actually like bought like a food truck for us. Like people were very generous during that time. But what I will never forget is this car goes by honking, and of course we loved honking. We loved, support from the road. Sure, like, yeah, show us you care. And then one guy starts turning into the entrance, and I'm thinking, okay, he must just be going onto the lot, but supporting. Stops in the middle of the crosswalk and gets out of his car. And now we're thinking, which way is this about to go?
Yeah.
He proceeds to pull his shirt off, and just in like red marker, he's drawn a giant cock on his torso. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? And like, of course, the lot coordinators and stuff are saying, "Hey, dude, you need to go." And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm supporting." And we eventually realized he wasn't with us. It was just he needed an excuse to do that. And I guess he just woke up, saw Black Riders, and goes, "Today's the day."
That's definitely, I've heard some stories. That's definitely the wildest story. But
he eventually left, and there was just this pause, and I finally broke the silence by saying, "A lot has happened in these past 5 minutes."
That's the thing. Like every movement of that is such an escalation. Like there's so much stress, you know. But I think I was mostly at the WB lot when I was helping strike. Is that what you call it? Because I'm not in the guilds or anything either. Well, I am in SAG actually, technically. But there were some people that were coming like by. And some of them were like teens, like younger or like maybe, early 20s that were just like, "Oh, I heard my friends are saying this is happening. Let's go check it out." And some of them were like promoting like products and stuff. And like, I think the promoting product stuff had different flavors of like, "Oh, we're helping out," and like, "Oh, we're trying to get you to do B-roll and like endorse." And then that was pretty cringy. But yeah, some of the kids were like, "We just want to like get a sign and then run away now having the sign." And so but nothing.
I still have mine, but I actually earned it. You know what? I'm going to show my sign too.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So Kevin, at the strike captain training that I took, the $400 one, it turned out like that mostly what they were talking about is how to like be in charge of how to hit people. So
did you get both of those in?
So this is what it looked like, just like on the back, and this is one of the customizable ones. So AMPTP is delaying the Community movie.
Wow. Yeah, I think I might have seen that in pictures. I guess, yeah, probably in maybe your pictures, but
Yeah.
also other ones too. But yeah, I made my own sign because when I started, there was not a lot of WGA signs right in the beginning, and I was like, well, I don't want to take signs away from real strikers, so I just made my own. And I don't know. One of the things said like it's like I can't remember, but it was like they make billions of dollars every day or something. I can't afford a doctor, and that was kind of the main vibe. And that
Yeah,
like
there's some great ones.
yeah, the writers ones were like I mean, well some of the writers ones were trying to be what you call too clever by half, I guess. But but most of them were really really good. I really liked
Yeah.
the actors ones a lot too. I think they were I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Okay.
One of the other fun stories is one of the times I was at Warner Brothers. I was walking down, and Paget Brewster shows up, so I stop and catch up with her. We take a selfie, and then like we eventually link up later.
Mhm.
And like it was really great to catch up with her because I guess I haven't seen her since that time. One of the times she was by for Harmontown. It
Mhm.
had really been a while, but it was great to see her. And then I saw from one of her fan pages on Twitter that I saw a pretty picture of her, and I was like, wait, that looks familiar. And I realized that they'd taken the picture I'd posted and just cut me out of it.
Oh no.
And I was
Don't you
like,
just love that?
yeah, and I just said, hey, if you're gonna post this, you might want to give me photo credit. And they're like, you found it like this. I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah, photo
So
credit.
they thought that she looked so much better than me. They just had to remove me from the frame.
Yeah, it would look really good. Is cutting this out. But man, Paget's so nice. Everyone's so nice. Everyone on Community is so nice. I think like people on set are really nice. And it's hard to know like how much of that is well, here's the thing about actors. They know how to act. So anytime an actor is being nice to me, I'm like, they're just acting. Like this is acting right now. But on the Community set, everyone was really nice. But Paget, every time I ran into her, she felt like she treated me like someone she knew for like years, which was like really mind blowing to me. And like, I don't like, we barely talked about anything. She couldn't have known anything about me, but it just was very warm. I love her hair. I love, she's kind of rocking more of a silver hair look. It looks so good. I love that look.
Yeah, same. Like she's a very sexy human being. So like for her to like it like she's embracing the gray. I'm like, yeah, she's rocking it too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it looks really good, especially when it's kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't have to comment on. Okay, so we like to ask all of our guests this question. I actually picked up this trick from NPR as a
Okay.
kind of audio test trick that they do to test audio levels. But what'd you have for breakfast?
For breakfast today, I actually didn't eat because I went to sleep late and needed to be up and looking cute for this. So I just
Yeah.
rolled out of bed and I'm like, all right, let's just do the getting ready. But I also don't usually eat breakfast because growing up, breakfast always made my stomach upset. And
Yeah.
like, I think a year ago, I finally figured out I had a sensitivity to Monsanto wheat, which was an thing. And I
Yeah.
say specifically Monsanto wheat because when I've had pasta from Italy where they don't have that, I don't have any reactions at all.
Yeah.
But being a
Interesting.
kid, I think I just never was able to put it together. So I just associated nausea with breakfast. So I kind of wasn't that into breakfast for the most part.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I've heard stuff like that before. Not specifically Monsanto, but like my understanding is like a lot of the ways they like engineer, breed, or whatever the wheat is to make them super hardy in ways that I think thicken the kind of outer wheat shell or whatever. And
Mhm.
I wonder if it's something like that. It's like just all that added like
Yeah, it could
armor.
be just whatever it is. My just freaks out my digestive tract and then it gets all inflamed and yeah.
Yeah, they also like I think they breed it to be like strong against certain pesticides that they use. So then you got to
Yeah.
imagine that stuff is like more inundated with pesticides, which is that could be an irritant.
Yeah, like I don't think the pesticides are as much an issue because I even looked into that like difference between organic and not, and like basically the not organic is just a synthesized pesticide, which actually works better for the most part
Right, right.
and still washes off just as fine. But Yeah.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of it one day. Kevin's a real genius. I'm sure he can figure out what's going on there. But that's really interesting. So, do you try and avoid like wheat and kind of like, obviously there in LA and stuff, there's a lot of easy gluten-free stuff. Do you try to like avoid like grains?
Like not grains in general, just like if I have to, I'll just deal with it. It's not like the worst thing in the world. I don't have celiac, thankfully, so I can still like enjoy like pizza or a good cupcake from time to time. But like generally, I just try to avoid it because I know how it makes me feel. I mean, like when I'm on set, like it's gonna be just in everything. I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. I'm getting paid to eat this. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, on set, it feels like you really just gotta make it work somehow, like it's going to be different what's going on. And
I think the most junk food I ever had was in my life was just at Victorious, because the green room is always catering to children, and children like sweet things. So I basically try all the stuff that I wouldn't normally eat just to say I tried it.
Yeah, well, that's what's so I don't know. Like whenever I would sneak down on set all the time just to like get all the food, and man, it just feels like you're wasting money by not just gorging on everything that's there. Obviously I was not on screen, so I think there's an extent to which you're like, well, I don't want to feel terrible or ruin myself for these takes or whatever, but it's still an urge, I think.
Yeah, you were in an episode though, right?
Yeah,
I think you were Andy's brother, or
yeah, I was in. Oh yeah. I was like the two things I've done is that, and I did one episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine because they needed someone with a really long beard.
I watched that. I binge watched that show. I loved it so much.
Yeah, everyone's like, every few like months or something, someone's like, Spencer, you were on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I just saw you, and I'm like, yeah. I think I don't know. I think they actually cut the joke. I'm not sure, but they needed a long beard because like the punchline was, I hope your beard comes to life and strangles you. And a beard that can pull off that joke was apparently in short supply. But so not breakfast, but what's the last thing you ate?
I stopped at a Japanese supermarket and got myself a nice bento.
Mm-hmm.
So it was chicken. It had also rice, mushrooms, carrots, and glazed sweet potato.
Wow, that sounds healthful, you might say.
Right?
But
healthful. Yeah. There's a word that I feel like people don't use very often.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I used it right, but it sounded good.
Yeah, you're healthy because you eat healthful foods.
Right. But so okay, so do you cook? Do you like cooking? Like what kind of
I like
food
cooking,
are you
but because of how side hustling has kept me so busy, it's not really economically reasonable for me to do it, because like it'd be better for me to just grab something inexpensive while I'm out and about and then keep going. But when I do cook, it's like I have learned to like make some of the recipes I like when I've been out. Like I did a lot of that during the pandemic. I actually taught myself how to make boba.
Oh wow, is that hard?
It's actually not. It's one of those where you can either make it really fast or basically then the more time you spend on each step, the better it comes out. So you have to spend some time having it simmer and then letting it cool and then letting it soak.
Okay. And so I know it can be made in different forms. Are you talking about the actual like circle, the spheres? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. How do you get that shape?
They're actually, I found a store that was selling them. They're actually kind of easy to find. Like I know World Market has them now too, but I just buy them. They actually kind of look like clay balls.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I think I've seen that before.
And then they darken as you put them in simmering water.
Yeah. So if you're eating on the go and stuff, are you getting a lot of what do you call it? A lot of like healthful stuff? Are you trying to stay clean in that sense?
That's actually just what I like. I've just grown up liking eating that stuff. So, but I'll still try and like I usually end up near that Japanese supermarket I mentioned earlier, Nijiya, and they have really reasonably priced stuff. So I just go in and get like some sushi or maybe a bento or stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm like a real hardcore meat enjoyer, and at some of the like Japanese markets, they have just like a whole like kind of barbecue section where they have like sometimes like roast pork and stuff, and I love just like filling up on that. At
Nijiya they actually have meat day on the 29th of every month, where they just like mark down all the meats they're selling and they set up the tables for samples. So it's like lunch for me when I go there. Like, oh,
Yeah.
what's this? And I come back in with a hat. I'm like, hi, person I've never met before. What is this sample?
That's, I mean, and for an actor, you're so well
Oh, yeah,
equipped.
that's my wheelhouse.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Playing different characters so I can get more samples.
That's the dream right there. But okay, so where did you go to school, thinking like middle school and high school and stuff?
So I grew up in LA, like actual native
Mm,
Angelino, born and raised.
awesome.
My aunt actually taught in Beverly Hills, so she convinced my mom to have me go there. So I grew up at the Beverly Hills school. So I went to El Rodeo, which I think after like 7 years of being remodeled, just finally reopened. And then I went
Mhm.
to Beverly Hills High School.
What was that like?
It was, first of all, it's really interesting going to a school where you're just walking to class and people are stopping out front so they can take a picture of the sign. And you're
Yeah.
just yelling, "It's just a school." I mean,
Right.
stuff has been filmed there, but still. And also, so you have that prestige about it. And then, like Logan Lerman was a year ahead of me. I was friends with him in school.
Mhm.
Like anytime we bump into each other on the street, always say hi, pick up where we left off, kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there are some other like before I even start school, like the Kardashians went to El Rodeo. So
Yeah.
my cousin was actually in the same grade as Kim. So my aunt actually has stories about how Kris Jenner loved being the troop mom for Girl Scouts, and I mean she had the most resources available, so it just made
Mhm.
sense.
Sure.
And my aunt said it was always trippy going to pick up my cousin because she'd get to the house, like a butler would answer the door
Mhm.
and then be like, 1 second, I will go fetch your daughter, or whatever butler speak was. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
she'd have to stand there awkwardly because these larger than life portraits of all the girls along the stairway were just staring at her.
Yeah. That's like a like haunted mansion kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
She'd just be standing like, okay, we get it.
that is intense. So butlers, huh? Butlers have weird names. Like, do you think like do the name makes them want to be a butler, or do they like adopt like a butler name, you think? How does that work?
I don't know.
You're
Like,
the expert.
yeah, I feel like perhaps just names do carry power to them, and when you
Mhm.
give someone a name like that, it sets them on their predestined path. It chooses that trajectory of over the course of their life. When you have
Yeah.
a name that has that vibe to it, like I feel like no one's just casually going around naming their kid Jeeves. Like they're gonna look at their kid just like, no, you are going to be an assist. Hold up, babe. Like you are going to be an assistant to a rich man with a monocle one day, and I'm going to make that happen for you.
Yeah, exactly. I totally buy into I would call it name connotations. There's some other like term for it or whatever, but yeah, like there's always a vibe. I'll tell you this, and no offense to any Michaels, but anytime I meet a Michael, bad person, just bad vibes, like unethical, bad stuff going on there. But just interesting stuff. But so your name is Darsan. Does that come from anyone anywhere? Like, is there any like story behind that?
Yeah, so my parents were really into spirituality when I was born. So
Mhm.
it comes from a Hindi name Darshan, which is
Mhm.
it just means seeing the divine.
Mhm.
So I mean, I guess technically I am. My dad's from Trinidad and Tobago, so that's technically West Indian. So I
Mhm.
guess I still tick that box. Sure, why not? And but they didn't want to say Darshan because they thought it might be harder for people to pronounce that way, and so they made it Darsan, and that did not solve the problem at all.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of like the Gillian Jacobs thing, I
Yeah.
think. Well, I guess that wasn't to make it easier, but it's like, yeah, that's, it's people are like, "Oh, I'm going to say it wrong and that'll be right." But do you feel like that name has connotated anything? Do you think that shaped you in any way? Do you see the divine?
Um, what I don't see is my name on any of those license plate keychains in stores, so I feel very left out. I've never seen my name on a Coke bottle, so nobody has shared one with me.
I don't think anyone's shared a Spencer Coke bottle with me, but very occasionally you will see it on like those keychain kind of situations for sure. But yeah, I just found out. Well, not I just found out. I just decided that this is true. That my mom, who was a big Princess Diana fan,
Hmm.
named me after her. I think her maiden name was Spencer. So yeah, I
All
never
right.
put it together until that movie Spencer came out. But okay, so in school, did you have any favorite subjects or anything?
PE.
Yeah.
I've always been really active, even though I got more into dance than sports, but it was just I preferred being outside and not having to deal with school. I was one of those people where the public education system wasn't really the best fit for me because I'm on the spectrum actually.
Hmm.
So yeah, that wasn't like the best environment, but like it was weird like also finding out years later it's like yeah you're on the spectrum but you weren't enough on the spectrum that they could put you into special ed, so you kind of just had to fend for yourself.
Yeah. It's hard to win in those situations, I think. You know, it's
Yeah.
like sometimes you're out of place in both worlds. In terms of dancing, like when did you start like finding that out, or like what was, I don't know.
When I
I feel
was
like when I was a
13,
yeah.
because so growing up at like Beverly Hills High School had a great dance company, and both my cousins were in that. So
Uh-huh.
I grew up going to see them, and then even after they graduated, I just kept going to the shows because my aunt would always get free tickets being a teacher in the district. So finally, when it came time for me to go to high school, I started doing dance class, and I was still falling for some of those gender role tropes and whatnot, and being like, okay, well, there are more guys doing hip hop, so I'm going to start with that. And
Hmm.
so I got in doing hip hop, and after 2 years of training, the company finally let me in for that, and I performed it, and I thought, hey, wait, this is actually really fun. Let's just learn the other styles. So then I started branching out to like modern and ballet and jazz, and yeah,
Do you have like a favorite style now, or do you just appreciate
definitely
it
still
all?
hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, there's very cool moves in hip hop for sure. I feel like I would seem the coolest if I was doing that kind of dance, but I'd enjoy, being capable of any sort of half graceful movement, honestly. But so that's kind of how you got in. Did you go to college or anything?
For a little bit.
Uh-huh.
My mom said like, okay, you graduated high school, you need to either get a job or go to school. And I like
Right.
hated school, but I was also going on auditions at the time and I didn't want to jeopardize that. So I said, fine, I'll
Yeah.
go to college, but on my terms. So I only took creative classes while I was at SMC at Santa Monica College.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean,
I was doing their dance program there. I got into their dance company on on my first audition, which they told me that that doesn't usually happen. Like most of the people there have either been taking class there for a little bit or they've tried out more than once. So that felt good.
mhm.
And but like right after that started, I that year I booked Victorious. Like
Right.
I had just decided to try and be like, okay, let's see if I can like take control of my career. So I sent my agents an email saying, hey, people tell me a lot that I seem to have this great vibe for Disney and Nickelodeon, so I want to see more of those. And the
Mhm.
next day they sent me a Victorious audition. And I was like, oh shit. I guess I gotta book this. And
Yeah.
I did.
That's so awesome. And that's one of your larger roles, right?
Yeah.
Like it's birth, right? I think.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
my first like on because I'd done some background work before just to get the on-set experience. And
Yeah.
then that was my first speaking role I actually booked.
Hmm. Wow.
And they ended up cutting me from the episode because they decided that they wanted to keep me for the rest of the show. So they wanted to introduce me proper.
Oh, what a compliment. How did that make you feel?
I was like, when I got cut from the episode, I remember I hyped it up on my Facebook profile, just like, hey, check me out. And then like my name was in the credits, but my scene wasn't there. And I was like, oh, okay, at least I have other episodes. And
Yeah,
then I
yeah.
saw the episode that I was in, and I realized, oh, that's why. Because I had like 5 scenes in that episode. Like they were really making a point of showing that I was part of the show.
Hmm. That's so cool. So in terms of auditions, like you started going auditions, what kind of led you down that path exactly? When did that start?
So summer of my senior year of high school, it was a really challenging time, that time in my life, and my mom wanted to give me an activity to do, so I did a at this one like local theater. I played Scar in Lion King.
Mhm.
It was just a musical, so it was really just all the songs, but still I got to do that. And at the end of it, my mom said, "Hey, do you want to do this? Really do this professionally?" And I thought, I mean, this was really fun. People tell me I'm good at it, so let's give it a try and see what happens. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah, for sure.
I ended
So
up going to this from one of the career days at Beverly High. This one actress came in from an acting school, and I always just had hung on to her business card because I thought it sounded cool, but I didn't give it a second thought until then. So I started going there, and they really liked me over there that they stuck me in their showcase program so fast, and that's how I got my agent.
mhm. That's cool. That's it sounds all really what do you call it? Like karmic or, serendipitous maybe.
Yeah.
But so the Lion King thing though, like Scar has like a lot of maybe not a lot. I mean, but Scar sings, and so you were singing. Do you have like any background or singing training? Like how is that? Like that's interesting.
Yeah, I'd always had experience singing growing up, and I was able to do it for that, and also be prepared to such a fun song because it's more of a talk sing,
Mhm.
because it's song's position in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sadly, I got a couple of years ago, I got COVID really bad, and it fucked up my singing voice to the point where I
Ooh.
haven't had the time to actually properly rehabilitate it. So I can
Yeah.
still sing, just I can also feel it when I'm I had this audition recently where it was a song that was also not in my key, but I was doing it, and finally I just said to the sound engineer, "Hey, we're just gonna have to splice something together because we're gonna hit the point of diminishing returns at this point."
Yeah, you don't want to wear out like yeah, your voice doesn't get better as you keep belting it out, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
But okay, so Victorious was like one of your first bigger roles. Did you but you were on set a little bit. Was it very different in terms of being like a Nickelodeon but also being like this kind of heightened kids show?
Yeah, it was for me it was also full circle because I grew up watching all that, and then
Yeah, yeah.
TL, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, Amanda Show, all of those shows. And then I was also at the point where I was starting to age out of watching those shows. I had watched some of iCarly just because they always reused people in those shows. So I'd watched some of it, but Victorious I hadn't really watched much of. I also didn't I know I said I watched Zoe 101, but not all that much. There was
Hmm.
also the weirdness of Nickelodeon kind of burying the show, so I never got to see that much of it.
Yeah,
Jamie Lynn Spears getting pregnant.
right.
So so it was fun. I spent all that time with Victoria Justice not putting together that she had been on Zoe 101.
I don't think I put that together either. But yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, I watched all
Also,
those
I
shows
wrote off
too.
Zoe 101 unfairly just because I was like, oh, they're girls in this. It's probably a girl show. I ended up watching the whole thing during lockdown. I was like, oh, fuck, this was a really good show.
Yeah, it was maybe a bit more. I mean, obviously a comedy or something, but it felt a bit more dramatic for my
It
liking.
was, yeah.
I was maybe more of like a Lizzie McGuire kind of speed, you know.
Also a solid show.
Yeah, but I definitely watched iCarly. I feel like I wasn't like a huge fan of iCarly. It's not like I didn't like it, but it just was on like a lot, and you'd catch it a lot. There's that guy in the show, Spencer, and I was like, hey, that's me, you know, and he was like a big freaky guy, and I was like, that's me too. And I love like dating moms and stuff or whatever. But
Me too.
but yeah, so yeah, but Victorious is maybe a bit more aged up a little bit than iCarly, but it
Oh yeah,
also
definitely. I always felt like it really knew its audience a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
better.
Yeah, I think both of those shows kind of like had these multiple layers going on, but Victorious was like more kind of teen focused. I feel like there was a lot more just like adults on that show, right? In roles like
Yeah.
how old were you on that show? Or is that weird to ask?
I
Sorry.
joined as I was about to turn 19, so I was still 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
I basically went out. I like to say I graduated high school to go to high school on TV, to go to college on TV.
I think that's the actor's dream is to be, I mean, right after it's like you don't want to be the right age just because it kind of looks wrong, but you don't want to be like the age that they used to put people on television where it's like you're 30, you know. But
Yeah, thankfully, I still I'm just, I guess, perpetually baby faced. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look great. So do you have any, or do you have any, what kind of preferences do you have for like watching TV and movies? Are you more of a TV guy, more of a movie guy?
Um, for TV, I definitely like single camera comedies a lot.
Hmm.
Like that was one of the reasons I was so happy to get on Community, just because I prefer that format because you can get a lot more cinematic with it. And
Hmm.
also, it allows for more of a comedy drama hybrid genre, which I like getting to explore both of it because it gives more like range of emotions, helps me get more drawn into a show. Um, lately for movies, like I just saw The Substance, which was it was one of those movies that made me go, "What the fuck did I just see?" But in a good way.
Yeah, yeah.
Really loved it. It
I
was
have,
such a, without doing spoilers, it was a really poignant, very powerful statement of how we as a society pressure women to look young and beautiful and perfect so badly to the point that even women who already look like that feel that pressure like they're not enough. And then when some women, there's so much of that pressure, some women will inevitably go too far to achieve that. And then we demonize them for the very thing we made them do.
right.
And it has this Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde aesthetic on top of it. So it's just really, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it seems really intense. I got to check it out. Everyone's saying like how what do you call it? Not maybe not gross, but how like intense the body horror kind of angles are.
Yeah, I have a really high tolerance for gross stuff, and I was covering my face a lot.
Wow. Yeah. That's I'm not much into horror like just because I like being comfortable. I like, sitting in a nice
Okay.
couch and not being scared, but like horror is totally exploring all sorts of ideas that I'm super interested in. Like I think like the levels that it plays on, like obviously the substance like you're saying, it's kind of about society's eye on women and stuff. But like that sort of stuff and like these headier emotional topics, like I really like that. I wish I could get more comfortable with it. And honestly, anytime I watch something, it's like not that bad. So it's maybe I just build it up in my head so much. But
Yeah, and I
um,
also saw Smile too.
oh yeah, I saw that. I saw you posted about it.
Yeah, it's fun to see a sequel that improves on its original in every way, which I really thought this did.
Yeah. I mean, well, so it just was like tighter and stuff because I feel like horror sequels can be pretty tough to do that way,
Yeah,
you know?
I love the concept of the first one, which I felt like was saying that message of like the main character needed help dealing with her trauma, and then by the time she went to get that help, it was too late.
Hmm.
And just sort of like I felt like there's that underlying message of like, hey, like it's okay to get help before your trauma actually like devours you.
Yeah.
But this was it took that I felt like they took notes on what could have been better about the first movie and really elevated it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's super interesting. And did the first one have that same kind of message? Well, maybe or a related message, or was
Yeah,
there
the
less
first
of a
one was
message?
that message, and then
Okay.
they also changed the like. So the first one was Sosie Bacon, yeah, Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick's daughter.
Hmm.
Interesting to see like someone that looks like exactly like both their parents, just with the right mix. And she was
Yeah.
great. She was fantastic in it. She played a doctor. I think it was at a psych hospital.
Hmm.
And just like she had her own trauma, and then just sort of how like that got to her. So she went from this totally put together doctor to really a mess. And then this
Yeah.
was Smile 2 is really just a pop star and showing like how much pressure there is for someone like that.
Yeah. Do you so
Using
okay.
someone who could actually sing and dance to play someone who could sing and dance. That was fun to see.
Yeah, it probably adds a lot. I mean, and you would know, you're somewhat of an expert on those topics. But yeah, I gotta watch more horror movies. I think it's good to get uncomfortable, I guess. That's my whole problem is that I'm like a baby. But do you have any directors that you're into or like any stuff like that, or is that not like a focus for you?
It's not like a main focus, but
Okay.
one director that I feel does stand out to me is Edgar Wright, just because of how more so than others I see him use music as a storytelling device.
Hmm.
So I love that like that's a tool that he really like makes a huge effort that the audience can even feel it. Like it's
Yeah.
just like atmospheric music. It's like you actually get like very specific, like it's dictating how the scene goes.
Yeah, I think it's so effective. Like I think people try to go for that a lot of times, and it still feels like a bit disjointed. But when it really like comes together, and it's not like feeling like the music's an afterthought, or it's not like the music is feeling like,
Mhm.
oh, this is gonna be so perfect. It just like really like feeds together in this positive way. It's very wild.
Yeah, like Agatha all along right now, they've been really doing that. Every time they start the credits, they use the perfectly appropriate song.
Yeah, I haven't watched that at all. Are you digging it?
Oh, I'm loving it. It's keeping everything that made WandaVision great.
Yeah, yeah. So have you seen very many of those shows, those
Oh yeah,
that
I'm a
like the
huge
Marvel?
MCU fan.
Yeah.
Just because I love their ability to explore every single genre and find a way to make it pay off most of the time.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I just I think like superheroes in general can I don't know, like people like to shit on superhero stuff, but I think like it's just like a very heightened way to explore all these other genre tropes and stuff in a
Yeah.
way that's like very accessible, which I
I feel like
like.
they like to shit on it just because it's known as that thing that nerds love watching or
That's the
reading. And
thing.
I'm just like, yeah, you're missing out. It's really it's a fully fleshed out story here.
Yeah, it's hard to like the I've always been a nerd my whole life, and it's I don't know.
Same.
I think yeah, I think nerds are kind of defined on some level by their like lack of social grace, although a lot of people don't like to saddle them with that baggage, but I think that's like it's not just you're an enthusiast of something, it's like also people shun you on some level, and it's not
Yeah.
just they're shunning you because of comic books, it's like other stuff too. But
Yeah,
I
mainly just because it'll make them feel better about themselves to put you
yeah,
down.
yeah, exactly. But I feel like as nerd stuff got more popular, especially like MCU and stuff, people who I would not,
MCU, Dragon Ball Z,
yeah,
Pokemon.
I think that like people who you would not necessarily classify as nerds are like, I'm a nerd too because I like that stuff. And it's like, well, that stuff is good. That's why we liked it as nerds, because it was
Yeah,
good. You're just enjoying something good. I don't know that that makes you a nerd or whatever, but I think then that started the rise of like, oh, nerds are cool now. But it's like, I don't think nerds are cool now. I think the cool people that are liking nerd stuff are still cool. And then I
yeah.
think that's led to this backlash where they're like, now we're sick of this stuff and now you're nerds again, which is like, man, I'm just trying to watch this shit. I'm not trying to like engage in this larger cultural conversation, which maybe that's way off base. I don't know. But so, like, are there other shows you liked as a kid? I mean, I think we all kind of like Cartoon Network stuff. Did you like cartoons
Oh
much?
yeah, I grew up. My mom tried so hard to just keep me on PBS and that stuff, and then yeah, it was the first time I ever visited my dad's side of the family in Trinidad. They had Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon on TV. I was like, "What's that?" And then that was it. So, but yeah, I grew up with like the like later '90s shows like Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls, and yeah, I watched Cartoon Network for so many years, and then Nickelodeon we had like SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then like getting more into the live action shows at the same time with all of that. But yeah, Cartoon Network. Yeah, I remember like watching like just being hooked on those shows, always watching Cartoon Fridays,
Mhm.
like with Ed, Ed and Eddie and Samurai Jack and then like eventually like seeing Adult Swim a little too young.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like back when it kind of first started, it was really more driven for adults. And then it kind of started coming down to like, oh, we're aiming at like 16-year-olds and stuff for the most part. But, all good stuff. But yeah, I remember there was like Baby Blues was like that show, which was like, I don't know. It was just about like parenting was rough and funny. And it's like, I don't understand any of this. But oh man. Did you watch any anime or anything?
Yeah. So yeah, I mentioned before Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like America kind of messed up. They should have released Dragon Ball before they released Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
More things made sense because like Dragon Ball Z literally opens with Goku and Piccolo meeting up and their enemies, and we're just like, oh, okay, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon was my jam. I grew up with that. And then yeah, I ended up getting really hooked on Naruto. It's like still to this day watching Boruto.
Yeah, I kind of fell off of Boruto a little bit. What I do is I get to the end of the anime as it's currently airing, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna switch to the manga, and then I like race to the end of the manga as it's currently releasing, and then at that point I basically never get back onto the anime. And then I fell off of the manga because usually when I get to current, I'm like, okay, what, I'm gonna do this every week. It's like it's easier to just like binge a whole thing than it is to keep going.
I guess,
But
yeah. But I like just wanting for more, like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Especially if
yeah,
the turns Boruto is taken.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is it
One
seemed
of the
like it was
reasons I
getting
like that
intense.
too is it's sort of like Avatar did this with Last Airbender and then Legends of Korra, where it's like you have the protagonists having their journeys in reverse.
Hmm.
Where it's like Aang started with he just lost everything and then he strives to gain everything by the end of the series. And he succeeds, and then Korra starts with everything and she loses everything.
Hmm.
And that's her journey.
Yeah. And especially with Boruto, it's like that's his deal. Is like
Yeah.
and they kind of go pretty hard, and at least in the anime, I think it's maybe a little less prominent in the manga, but in the anime, it's like this kid is entitled. He's literally like the son of the village chief and stuff. And then he starts to realize, oh, I'm not hot shit, but also I have talent, very unique talent in a lot of ways. And
Yeah, Boruto I really like because at his core, he's also, I feel, more fleshed out of Naruto and certain shonen protagonists like that are designed in a way where they have their likable traits, but they're more of a blank slate so you can project yourself onto.
yeah.
Boruto's not that person. He's a very detailed character already, like by comparison. So he started off like he's had a good life because that's what his parents tried to create. He's a actual prodigy, like just natural at everything. But when he realizes he doesn't understand something because he's too privileged, he works his ass off to try and understand. And that's very compelling for me to see that.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more like you said, Naruto is like he's basically a copy paste. Like he and Sasuke maybe has a little bit more development, but they're both like Naruto's like the brash, positive, I want everyone to be happy, more of like the
Yeah.
Luffy kind of protagonist. And then Sasuke is like the power level protagonist and like everything else, where he's kind of flat. He has a brooding backstory, and he
Mhm.
can just beat everyone all the time without that much trouble, And Boruto is actually, yeah, it's like, I mean, obviously the guy must have
Yeah, but that's the thing.
progressed.
Like Boruto is kind of like an inverse of Sasuke. Like basically, if Sasuke never lost sight of being the good guy,
Yeah,
basically Boruto.
yeah. So,
He starts off with this loving family, all this natural talent, and then he loses everything thanks to his older brother.
yeah. I don't think I put that together actually, but yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
and his older brother have magic eyes, and his older brother causes him to lose literally everything,
yeah. It's
including his
interesting.
parents.
So, there's still a lot of filler in the anime of Boruto, right?
Yeah, well, the thing that's a little different about that is the creators have already said that just because the manga comes out once a month instead of weekly, everything in the anime is canon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just the anime actually gets to explore and flesh out the world that's been created since the end of the war, and I love it. Puts some people off because it becomes more slice of life or school days vibe, but not school days, but just it's taking place at school. But just I appreciate that it's not for everyone. I've gotten like it puts some people off, and I'm like, no, I like seeing that our main characters that we rooted for years finally succeed at their goal, and now we get to see the world that they created. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I really love world building. I'm into D&D and stuff. So I kind of nerd
Yeah.
out on just world building, which world building is not plot. So a lot of times in a lot of fiction, you don't dwell too much on world building. But that's like, I would just love like just almost like a
Yeah, ever
documentary of
since I
a
became
world.
a writer, like that's been one of the things I've enjoyed too, just world building.
Mm,
Like I ended up getting into D&D also. I remember
yeah.
when Dan used to try and do shadow runs at Harmontown at either work. I just remember I got the character sheet and I just had no idea what to do, so I didn't participate, even though my presence ended up naming that episode "White Guilt Kerosene on the White Guilt Bonfire."
Yeah. And the
But
Shadowrun character sheets are tough.
but eventually a few friends of mine, like, we decided to start playing D&D, and I realized, oh, this is basically an improv game. I know how to do that.
Yeah. Do you have any improv chops? Did you do any improv stuff? Okay.
Yeah, improv was something I just was naturally good at, but I do go to Groundlings.
Oh, awesome.
I'm hoping next month to actually get back to it, just because I was fortunate enough to still live at home for up until 2 years ago, and ever since I
Nice.
moved out, it's just like, oh fuck, rent is really high.
Mhm.
So I've been doing that, but I'm hoping that I get enough of a breather next month to do it used to be called like advanced improv. Now it's called Improv Lab over at Groundlings, but I'm hoping to move up through that program more.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
But I
just started
used
improv.
those skills of when I realized that D&D is like, oh, this is improv, and then your DM tells you if what you wanted to do worked or not. So
Yeah.
I somehow became the de facto leader of the campaign.
Mhm.
And my friend, he wrote this whole subplot just for shits and giggles, but did not think we were going to get it in one day. We did. Where he wrote this whole subplot where so we did our main campaign. We got back to our town, and I said, well, what would probably make the most sense is we need to keep buying stuff as we level up each campaign. So we need to get a source of passive income. And one of the things we'd found that he put in was there was this we took out a group of goblins, and we found all this goblin porn that they were keeping. And I said, hey, let's take this. Just because like my alignment is chaotic good, I'm like, come on, am I really just going to leave some goblin porn behind? Let's be
Sure.
inclusive here.
Yeah.
So we go and get a business permit, and we set up a goblin porn shop
Mhm.
for passive income, and we got all that, and then decided, hey, I like world building. Let's go explore the sewers to see if there are any monsters down there with some good loot. And it leads us to the underground of the Duchess, where find out she's running a child sex trafficking ring.
Oh no.
And I said, okay, guys, new plan. We are busting this ring, and we did. And then at the end, I said, wait, so you wrote all that? He said, I didn't think you were going to find out
Yeah.
that was there. That was just, I thought it'd be funny for world building. I said, well, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then we
That's
got a
awesome.
guild offer from the assassins because of that, because they thought we were awesome for saving all those children.
Mhm. That's the power of D&D, you know.
Yeah. We almost died in that campaign though, but thankfully we'd found an altar to a god that cannibals worshipped, and we were going based on that rule. If you find out a god exists, pray to it.
Mhm.
So we had a ring that let us eat bodies to recover health, so that saved us.
That sounds powerful. If not delicious.
Yeah.
But okay, so you're a writer.
Yeah.
Like what do you have any kind of, I don't know if you want to reveal like too heavily like what you're writing on, but do you have any like styles, like what kind of stuff engages you and interests you as a writer as you're like doing this stuff?
So I mean, I'm not ready to say the details
Yeah, of course.
on a podcast yet, but I am. I did create a show loosely based on my life.
Awesome.
And yeah, like I've been working at getting that ready to start pitching soon. So I'm hoping like before Thanksgiving I can start getting it out to streamers and stuff. But that's been a really fun process, because that's actually how I taught myself to write. I decided I wanted to write a show, and then I was like, okay, well, now I need to know how to write.
Yeah.
Thankfully, just from like all the scripts I have from Victorious and Community, I was able to look at like just do that breakdown. It's okay, like I liked how this worked, why did this work? And I just taught myself based on all that. So I'd say Community had a very heavy influence on my writing style.
That's super impressive. You know, they say write what you know. So that makes a lot of sense. Are there any like screenwriting books or anything that you read to like get into it? Or are you just, because
Nope,
like reading the scripts is probably the
it was
best
just
part.
reading the scripts. And then honestly, I used and I love that they include this as a template on Final Draft now, the Dan Harmon story circle. Because
Wow.
when I was looking at things, I thought that made the most sense to me.
Mhm.
And I used that because it works.
Yeah.
He really broke it down in a nice, concise way. So
Yeah, it's great. It's like, it maps onto movie structures, but it makes TV structures so much more compelling.
Yeah. Because instead of just focusing on the 3 acts thing that most comedies have, or even drama, it's just like you're focusing really on this character story, and then I feel like the acts just sort of define themselves after you do that.
yeah, definitely. It's a powerful method. I find
And I
myself.
also I actually did do I can't really use it as much now because the show ended, but I came up with this really fun Brooklyn Nine-Nine sample spec script
Mhm.
of where just practice working on like an A, B, and C plot if need be, because Brooklyn Nine-Nine always was good at having a clear A plot and then a B plot and a C plot. So it's there's a convention in town and Charles Martinet is set to appear, and they're tasked with guarding him because he's received some threats, and then so like that's like the main thing, and then it also lets Jake actually meet Wario,
Yeah.
who he hates because Wario cheats all the time.
Right.
And then in the background, it's um I'm blanking. I should not be blanking on these characters' names because I love them so much. But Charles and Hitchcock get pulled in because Charles always like says sexual innuendos all the time,
Mhm.
like without meaning to, and Hitchcock says them meaning to. So they get pulled in by Holt to actually like address that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it would eventually lead to them getting back to the convention, but just like have all those things going on because I thought like, hey, you have all these running gags. Let's do something with that.
Mhm. Yeah. That's I love Wario. Any excuse to put Wario in a script, I
Yeah.
say.
So I thought just if Jake actually got to meet the voice of Wario, just what would that look like? So
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're running a bit low on time. We usually like to do a segment called "What's Kevin's Deal,"
mhm.
and we will let Kevin cut the music in later. Um, what's Kevin's deal? All right, so Kevin is a fixture on the show. He started Kevin in the Spleen. That's about all we know about him. He's the producer on this podcast. He's a man of mystery. No one understands him, where he comes from, but you might be a good judge of character. So we like to play the game. What's Kevin's deal? It's kind of like 20 questions, except one question. You just ask what his deal is. You ask if his deal is such and such. So basically, there's just 2 rounds. I'm going to go first, and you're going to go second. And we just try and figure out if we can divine what Kevin's deal is. So I'll go first to kind of set up how it works.
Okay.
Kevin, is your deal that you are part of an international gang of super soldiers that works to uncover crimes that the world needs to not know about, but desperately needs to have solved?
I am so flattered that you think that's even a possibility for me.
Mhm.
I would love that career move, but no, that's not my deal. I don't really fight crime like that. I wish I was, though.
You are a super soldier, though, right?
I mean, in some people's eyes, yes, but
Sure.
nothing official. I don't have like a certificate or anything.
Mm-hmm. Now it's interesting because Kevin, he's a interesting, strange, mysterious guy. But a lot of times our guests have interesting, unique insights that get far closer than I could ever get. So, do you have an idea of what you might want to ask Kevin's deal to be? That's a
Yeah.
great sense.
All right, Kevin. So your deal. Going with the super soldier thing for a second, is your deal that your super soldier status came from a serum or radioactive exposure? And is your deal that it enhanced you mentally? So we've had this conversation before, but you have wiped it from our minds for classification reasons.
I mean, I definitely feel like I would have been like the 13-year-old kid that took apart smoke detectors to get radioactive stuff out of them to do something with. So I feel like if I had to choose between that and some serum, it probably would be some kind of like radiation poisoning causing the superpowers.
Gotcha. So your curiosity got the better of you then. Okay.
Probably, I think like if that was going to happen, it would be for sure some issue with radiation that occurred because I was experimenting with things I shouldn't have been. But like as to what powers that would give me and things like that's a really good question. But I don't feel like I know what my powers are yet. So if they exist, they're kind of nebulous right now. So I'll give you half credit there.
Great. Wow. Well, Kevin's powers, of course, are Austin powers, I think, is something we found out. But I think, again, I don't want to get too specific because, like, but the idea that Kevin can wipe our memories is, I think, closer to reality than anyone might expect. And I don't want to say more than that because I need my memories. But
I like
so,
my memories too.
yeah, exactly. You
I
need them for
learn
your
things
work.
from my memories.
Yeah, I learn. I unlock childhood trauma using my memories. It's very important to my process. But okay, so I think that's about gonna do it for our show. Do you have anything you'd like to plug or talk about before we hop off?
Um, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about one thing briefly.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Just so I think you saw from my post, but yeah, I was supposed to do a convention this past weekend called
Right.
SplatCon, and it canceled literally the day before.
Yeah.
Which was it was going to be my first ever convention appearance, and I was really hyped for it. I spent money printing photos to sign for people, and I don't get that money back now, which
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
But I was actually looking at posts online because I was trying to find out like what happened. How did this happen? Was it a scam? Was it just something else? It looked like it was, and thankfully it looked like it wasn't a scam. I see people getting their money back, but
Oh, good.
the organizer's name is Nigeria, and I saw someone saying, "Hey, something's going on because it's saying all our money's going to Nigeria, so something's going on over there." And someone else said, "Hey, yeah, no, that's just her name."
Yeah. Wow. That's
But it ended up some of the guests that were set to appear there decided, hey, we should still do something for all the people that flew. Some people flew out here or drove long distances. I felt really bad about that.
yeah.
So we ended up having like this impromptu get together at Player One, which is an arcade in North Hollywood, which I had no idea was there, which was really cool.
Mm.
But yeah, so we still ended up getting to meet some people, which was nice, but would have been nicer to, meet them at the convention they spent money trying to reach,
Yeah, like that's the thing. A day before is like
I know, like, apparently they didn't have the venue secured, and it's like, how do you not have that and wait till the last day to say something?
right, yeah. Cause yeah, people are gonna be traveling, and yeah, hopefully to a secured venue, ideally.
Yeah, it was supposed to be at the Hilton by LAX.
Oh man, I did a magic tournament there
Oh,
when I
really?
was younger. Yeah, they used to do tournaments at hotel like ballrooms and stuff. It was pretty cool, but it's changed since then. But yeah,
But yeah, that would have been fun. I saw another convention posted about it saying, hey, for all this weekend, we are now having a ticket sale. Type in the word splat, you'll get 10% off all the tickets. I was like, yo, that is savage. And they said we pledged to have secured the venue by December 5th, and the actual thing is December 6th. So I was like, yeah,
that's brutal. That's tough. I mean, tough to prepare, perhaps.
yeah.
But wow. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, to the audience, to the splatters, to even the organizers. It's not what they wanted, presumably.
Yeah.
But hey, at least you made something good out of it. That's
thankfully we
really
did.
nice.
And I got to meet some people from all that. That was pretty fun.
Oh, I was gonna ask, do you have when you were watching all that, did you have like a favorite person on all that?
I had a few favorites. I really liked Amanda, which I guess they all did too because she got her own show out of it.
Yeah.
Keenan and Kel also. I thought Jamie Lynn Spears was pretty good on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always a Lori Beth Denberg fan.
Oh my God, Lori Beth is awesome.
Yeah. All right.
There's so much talent on that show. So yeah.
I know. Like that show's so good. I should go back and watch it. I'm sure it holds up. No, but it was really, really funny. But yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for doing the show. But yeah, we like
thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. It was great to catch up, get to know you a little bit. Good to see you again, as always. And we like to end the show the same way we do every week. So as always, Kevin, just cut it off. Okay. Just as a safety, was there anything you want to plug, like socials or anything that we can plug in? Or is it cool?
Yeah, but let's plug my socials.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just go. Any socials or anything you want to promote?
Yeah, I'm on I use Instagram. That's just my name at Darsan Solomon. I'm still on Twitter for the time being. That's at, you can just look at my name, but that's at Dizzy Idiot, which is also my Blue Sky handle. I kind of trying to train myself to post there, but for the most part, it's Instagram and Threads where I post the most.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Hold on. Someone's at the door.